Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Summit to Europe by G2A.com. I'm Zayori. This is LD.
You're still jet lag.
I had a slow start.
I know you had that little stutter step where you're like, oh, what region is it?
Oh,
is
wait.
The sun out?
What are we actually doing today? Dude, jet lag is serious. If you're not
I have no jet lag, dude. I don't believe in it. I'm right back at it.
It's the blackout curtains, I'll tell you what. That for 16 hours, I just passed out in the darkness and a day just went by. I don't know what happened.
And then you went right back to your cave.
Yeah, and then
did it again.
Almost happened again.
Slept through your casts. We had to cover for you. Poor
God.
gods.
It's
this man's still sick. He's recovering.
Poor
We're
gods.
also occupying his bedroom right now, so we can't even sleep.
Yeah, I feel worse for him on that front. But we've got another good match coming up here. Navi versus VP.Polar. You mentioned before Navi, pretty much in the bag, fighting for seeding right here.
Yeah.
But should still be a good matchup.
Should be great, and God Black Dota, always entertaining.
Always interesting indeed. So let's take a look at the draft here and see what's going on. We've got, oh wow, this draft's going by very quickly. These teams know what they want, and they're going to scoop it up. Navi, they grabbed 2 tanky mothers to get things started. Huh?
Havost is now less than 4. He's downgraded himself. He's not even he doesn't even feel worthy of the 4 distinction. Now, coming into this match, I do want to mention that Valat tweeted suggesting he thinks there may be some changes on Navi's roster. Of course, Valat, pretty damn good friends with a lot of the players. You know, we went out to drink with him in Havost after Navi was eliminated. He's friends with them outside of the game.
Yeah, FNG was there also.
Yeah. So who knows who it would be, what the change would be. I think the hint was that it would probably be one player, but Navi's still doing well in the Summit overall. Their results are good. Yeah. Their LAN results have been underwhelming. And I suppose that's where they're really dissatisfied. But let's see if they can bounce back.
Yeah. Now VP.Polar, they are 5-4. So if they take a win here with 4 losses, you're still in the running for the top 4. That's right around the break point. 4 losses, 5 losses.
If they win out, I think we actually could well have some 4 or 5 3, 4, 5-way tie, depending on how the rest of the games shake out.
Yeah, so very possible. Right now, Power Rangers, they're 3rd in the group stage, and they're 7-4. So VP.Polar could be in good shape following a victory here. Let's take a look at this draft, though. Ogre and Tidehunter picked up for Navi out of the gate. Death Prophet and Wisp, the opener for VP.Polar. Now they grab the Skywrath Mage with their 3rd. Plenty of silences for VP.Polar, and there's your DK Phobos hero. Surprise, surprise. He's going to be playing a little bit of Centaur here.
Yeah, no surprises. Centaur is just a really popular initiator recently. It's a tough lineup to jump on, though. Like, you stomp double edge, and then a hero like Tidehunter, Doom, or Ogre still has, like, half their health. So you need the Skywrath Mage follow-up. Getting a level 6 early for the Skywrath will be very important. VP.Polar, not the strongest 5-man draft. In general, just kind of a bit of everything. Some push from the Death Prophet, some team fight from Exorcism and Stampede, some mobility from the Wisp, a little bit of single target pickoff from the Skywrath Mage Centaur. Whereas Navi, a very clear game plan. Pick a bunch of beefcakes and just start face rushing people all around the map.
Yeah, beefcakes are certainly the name of the game here.
This would be a great Necrophos game. I was gonna say he's actually banned out.
Yeah.
All those like melee counters would be fantastic. Even a good Enigma game potentially, although VP already have their support, so. Yeah. Can't really see them squeezing one in, but anything that can punish tanks in general is what you want to be picking up here.
Yeah, Timbersaw would have been great for VP.Polar, though. Not one that they run.
They could still run a Timbersaw.
Yeah.
They could run like a safe lane Centaur.
Okay, I could see that.
Actually, Timbersaw would. He is a bit vulnerable to Doom, but that's what you Stampede for. You Doom someone beside Centaur, you just Stampede away. Yeah. Now, maybe Disruptor can still glimpse you back in a Static Storm and you die, but yeah, Andrew, I actually really like Timbersaw this game. I think it could be very strong. And the other thing is, like, Ogre can zone most heroes out of the offlane. He'll still be good at the first few levels against Timber, but once you get to, like, level 2 or 3 on the Timbersaw, you have point in reactive armor, you've got a point in your Whirling Blade. You can go toe-to-toe pretty easily.
Yeah.
5 seconds
well, Navi, they'll grab one of the classic counters to the Wisp, and that of the Disruptor is their 2nd support.
Also to the Stampede.
Yeah.
Stampede away, then you get Glimpse back.
Yep, that's true. And Kinetic Field does work pretty well against the Centaur also. So, also a hero that scales a bit into that
Navi's
late
turn
game
to
once
ban.
BKBs become a priority. If you can get an Aghanim Scepter, then you've got that Disruptor initiation to jump on the Death Prophet, and she becomes much more vulnerable. VP.Polar, they ban out the TA with their 5th, and it could have been a good option here for Navi. She does
10
pretty well against the
seconds
DP in the
remaining.
mid, and I don't think we've seen Dendi play TA too much. One of those pocket
5
strats that
seconds remaining.
can definitely come out onto the field. We'll see what Navi want to take out with their 5th. They will need to ban out another core for
Reserve
VP.Polar,
time.
whether it's a position 1 to pair with that Wisp or an offlaner. There are a couple of options still remaining for the Radiant side.
I think you do want a BKB builder. You're up against Doom, but that's what the
Radiant
relocate can bail you
team
out of,
pick.
and everything else is really good against non-BKB carries. Ravage, Ogre Magi, and Disruptor. So, as far as those go, Gyrocopter wouldn't be too bad. Also, Navi have 3 melee heroes, so they tend to clump up. But Gyro's actually pretty awful against Doom, so scratch that, because Doom does remove Flat Cat, and even if you've already used it, it still gets disabled. Trying to think what else would be good here.
I think CK was a pretty solid
10
ban here from
seconds
Navi.
remaining.
That kind of takes Tiny out of the question. He can go BKB, but not really his
5
bread and butter.
seconds remaining.
Sven could be a good option here.
Yeah,
Reserve
Sven
time.
wouldn't be too bad.
There you go.
Good call.
Woo!
Navi's turn
Well-
to pick.
All right, well, I still think Timbersaw would have been pretty good as well, but nice thing with the Sven is you doom him, he's still going to have his God Strength, he's still going to have his Warcry move speed, he'll still have the Wisp buffing him up, and he'll have Lifesteal if he's itemized for that. You need an Aghanim Scepter to really deal with the Sven and on your Doom, and I don't know if he'll get it.
Yeah.
I'm curious how Navi look to play this. Like their lanes just are a little
10
odd right
seconds
now.
remaining.
Do they run a core Tide or Doom mid? Do they run the Ogre Disruptor
5
support?
seconds
Do they run a
remaining.
support Doom in the jungle with the Ogre going off lane, maybe the Tide mid against the
Reserve
Death Prophet? That's
time.
not really that great. Do they run a safe lane Tide? Safe lane Doom? I don't know. They're all over the place in terms of how they could lane it.
Yeah, they have a lot of options for sure, and I don't think Navi is one that has really run Doom in the mid a hell of a lot. Usually it's a Havos in the safe lane or your Funnick off laner. So, I don't know. I think they still need their obvious Dendi hero. What could work well here? I suppose Puck could be okay if that's a route they want to go. Give him a little bit of extra magic damage. But they are a little bit low on the right clicks. And, oh, wow, they go with the Shadow Fiend. Well, that'll deal with their right click problem. Okay, Dendi Shadow Fiend.
Well, Navi's late game looks really scary right now. Bloodlust. Shadow Fiend has tons of plus damage from Necromastery, and as long as he's able to survive, all he really needs to maximize his DPS is attack speed, and you get that from Ogre. This is a scary late game. Shadow Fiend is a bit vulnerable to like just getting burst down, but if he gets a BKB, or if he's really good with his blink dodging, I think Dendi, one of the best players in the world at playing aggressive on Shadow Fiend and not getting punished for it, then it could well work out. So.
Yeah.
Hey man, the return of the Dendi Shadow Fiend. It's been a while since I've gotten to see him play this.
Yeah, Dendi's
Prepare
really getting
for
back to his
battle.
roots. We got to see the Dendi Pudge at Starladder, and now seeing some Shadow Fiends, some of these old school heroes, for lack of a better term, that we haven't seen so much recently. And he's got the Fiery Arcana. Oh man, this is a treat as always. So, okay, looking at these drafts here, LD, what are you thinking? Anybody have an outdraft here in this one?
Well, VP do have good ganking supports. Wisp needs her levels, but you can go for like maybe one rotation on the mid lane with the Scarlet Wisp. And that plus Death Prophet could be enough to kill off Shadow Fiend, but it's not really like a great ganking duo. And if you're not ganking a Shadow Fiend early, he will get turbo farmed. You can stack the jungle for him. Tidehunter can stack his Ancients, perhaps. They won't really need... Let's see, what's the offlane going to be for VP.Polar? Centaur offlane.
30
Against the
seconds to
less than
battle.
4 Doom safe lane. Havos should do pretty well here as the safe lane Doom. Maybe you zone him out a bit with Disruptor. I'd like to see a TP early on him, or just park the Ogre nearby mid. Because if you protect Shadow Fiend, you're probably not killing this Tide early offlane. It's a lot of investment to bring him down, and you get to the mid game with the farm Shadow Fiend. VP.Polar's only solution to that is to just man up on him. But you man up on him, you're going into Static Storm combinations, into
The
Ravage.
battle begins.
I think Navi can punish you if you dive too much, so protect
Yeah.
Shadow Fiend, that is priority number one.
That's
by
good.
far.
Fast
Yeah,
to
for
know.
VP.Polar, I think a lot of the pressure they can put on Shadow Fiend depends on DK Phobos. If the Centaur gets a lot of farm and finds a Blink Dagger between that 10-15 minute mark, he'll be in good shape. Even earlier than that. It kind of depends on how hard he gets zoned out. But let's introduce some rosters here as this game gets underway. VP.Polar will have Illidan farming on the Sven. In the safe lane, he'll be joined by Lil on the Wisp. In the mid lane, that puts Scandal on the DP. And Go Go Black on the roaming Skywrath Mage. You could see something break out in the mid lane as Ogre taking the high ground will be DK Phobos. In the off lane here on the Centaurs, Vanscore goes in, Ignite onto Go Black, and, well, no follow-up after the slow burn here on the Skywrath.
Top lane, they're jumping onto DK Phobos. Not enough to kill him off, but good harassment for now. There's actually decent kill potential here if Havost gets the right creep. Let's see, what's spawn nearby? Satyr's not really the best one.
Yeah.
Ideally, you want the Stomp, I think, at this point.
Yeah.
Maybe the net from the Dark Troll Warlord. But still, they can zone him out. Disruptor's pretty good at zoning most heroes with that. The Lightning getting buffed a few patches ago. The 4 ticks do a lot of work. So.
Yeah, Go Black and Vanscore still having some fun here in the mid lane. Vanscore, of course, is on the Ogre. That puts Dendy on the Shadow Fiend mid. Up top, the symbol 4, of course, that is Havost. And here, AB Rain, that's actually FNG. I'm not sure why he's tagged up as Rain, but that is indeed FNG. And, of course, Funnick off lane here.
Seems like they're a little emo with all these names.
Yeah, it seems like it, at least. I do like the less than 4 from Havost. That's a nice touch. I'm glad to see him embracing the 4.
The side effect of this pressure mid, where they're trying to shut down the Shadow Fiend, is that Tidehunter gets a lot out of the offlane, although he might be in trouble now. They can tether and dive on this with Arcane Bolts, and Funnick may not make his way out. He's going to have to go for a Rosh Knight. He bought a Teleport Scroll. Does he spend the rest of his gold? Oh, no, Funnick. First Blood given up to God Black.
Yeah, that Watermelon just a little too tanky. Roach can't one-hit him anymore, and an easy First Blood comes out for Virtus.Polar. Illidan also finding a lot of space in the lane now with Tide dead, so he'll be able to rack up some farm. It is Havost that's the big breadwinner out of the gate. He is leading the last hits.
Yeah, Doom will farm. But the core of this Navi lineup, to me, is really the Shadow Fiend. And Dendy is not having the easiest time mid. They de-warded him, so even if he's not being ganked, he has to worry about it. The supports right now, no teleport on Vangscore, no teleport on the Disruptor. So Dendy really has to hug his hill here. We may even see him walk into the jungle and start stacking. You can clear those once you get the level 3 raises, or ideally level 4. But you expect to see him spending a lot of time hugging his tower, and you might be like, why is Dendy missing CS? Well, it's because he's playing in the dark, man. He's got this one Observer Ward. That doesn't really help him. Bottom lane, dive on the front.
Yeah, Funnick's in trouble. They'll be able to dive him a little bit more. Go Black running low on mana, but yeah, they'll finally bring him down. It's a close call. Illidan may fall to the tower. Yes, he will. It's a 1-for-1. So Funnick at least getting some recovery gold out of it, but still a decent dive for Virtus.Polar, and of course they're the ones that get the experience.
Yeah, that's the big deal. Doesn't get the experience of the offlane Tide. Pretty unfortunate for Funnick still. The wave pushed in, and he hits level 3. They're farming well mid on their Death Prophet. The Doom is free farming. I'm curious to see what build Havost goes this game, because to me, when you're running the Shadow Fiend mid, he's your true 1 position, and you have to be careful not to play too greedy.
Glimpse back onto Phobos. Now takes a fireball or fire blast to the face from Vanscore. Hoof stomp on 2. Phobos may just barely be able to survive this. A few more auto attacks are all they need to bring him down. The shockwave almost there, but Phobos walks away with a few hit points to spare.
Good effort on the Hadouken, but just a little bit off.
That certainly would have been enough for a kill as well. So that's the big disparity of this game, is just in the offlaners. Tide 1 and 2, and DK Phobos here. He's only got 4 last hits, but he is yet to die halfway through level 3. Not finding a lot of farm, but at least holding his own. Mid lane is now moving the way of the Death Prophet without the support of, well, the dire supports. Dendy behind by about 6 CS. Not without the range of recovery for sure.
I like this build a lot from Havost. He's not going greedy for the Midas, and he's not rushing a Blink either. They have a Tide. He'll be their main initiator later on this game. Goes for the early Arcanes, and I would really like to see him go for Mech. Tide has mana issues. If you go Mech, then you really need Arcane Boots, which means no Blink Dagger, and without that instant Ravage, it's going to be tough. Like, you can't rely on Doom to win fights, right? Because you Doom a target, that hero just gets relocated out. So you need to catch the Wisp with Ravage as well, and that's where you need a Blink.
Yeah.
So I think for Navi, you go Mech here on Havost next. He'll also be a bit of a super walking hospital with the regen R from Unholy R on top of that, and you just catch up Funnick on Ancient stacks, which have not been warded off yet. He's not been stacking them either. Dendy now retreats in the woods. Again, like, the map's dark for Dendy. You look at the vision right now, this ward doesn't see any supports at the bottom lane, and he's playing this smart, just sitting way back, and in fact, they are trying to gank a mid with Godblack.
Yeah, and he's at least found his level 6 now, so those Shadow Razors hurt that much more. Scandal coming in, Pump Fakes, a Crypt Swarm, and that's all it takes to scare Dendy back. You see him move into the lane, look like they might man up on him, and right back to the jungle where he'll find a pack of Wild Wings there and find a little bit of farm. So Navi playing this right out of the gate, and Havost still just racking up the free farm. Not much the Centaur can do. He has a similar problem where he just doesn't have any vision on these supports, so They're hiding in the trees, hoping that he'll be foolish enough to step too far forward. But
That is where Navi, I think, have the edge, though. Tidehunter, much better at clearing out stacks, and I'm particularly farming the Ancient, something Centaur can't really do. Shadow Fiend excels at flash farming. Death Prophet and Sven are decent, but they're not as good as the Shadow Fiend with those 3 75 mana nukes. And, oh god, Scandal wraps around. He might go for a Courier pickoff. Has a haste rune here. That's the bottle of Dendy on the Courier. This could be big.
can he actually get it, though? That's a tanky courier.
3 or 4 auto attacks.
And he might find it there. Oh, moving the courier right around the edge, fogging Scandal appropriately. Now the TP back from Van Score. Won't be able to catch him. The haste rune will keep Scandal safe. Probably worth the wasted time there, the off chance that he does pick the courier, but unfortunately does not pay off this time. Now Dendy in the mid. Ancient Seal will silence him up. Out come the Arcane Bolts. Scandal with the Crypt Swarm finds the kill on Dendy, but there's support nearby. Off to the side, FNG gets off a kinetic field, stops Phobos dead in his tracks. Scandal almost goes down to Van Score in the lane, but it will end as a 1-for-0 in the mid. Meanwhile, in the off lane, as we're watching that, it is Funnick that dies to the wrath of the Sven Wisp combo.
Yeah, an instant God Strength in the tower push here. He's got the Wisp backing him up. That gives a level 4.5 to Lil. Really good level progression on the Wisp. And at the same time, the Scarth Mage of Godlike doing quite well. With the 4-1 lead, VP will get their level 6s quickly. And as I was mentioning, I think Mystic Flare is... it's always a good ability, but this game I think is particularly important. Without that, you will struggle to just burst down, like, say, a Tidehunter before he Ravages, or some other hero before they get glimpsed back. So getting your Mystic Flare and getting your relocate early. VP.Polar will want to continue to take fights. The Tidehunter's still quite poor. Funnick doesn't have... he has 1 Ancient stack, but not really much in the woods. Dendy going for the potential Midas. They're going to bottom lane, though.
Stormbolt to start things off. Yeah, the follow-up damage is here. The cavalry has arrived. Funnick will be hard-pressed to survive this one. Not even close. Van Score rotates his way down. We'll throw a rotation onto Illidan, but he sees that as his opportunity just to TP home.
There's a Doom on the Lil.
Yeah, Lil, he's definitely going to fall this time. Disruptor's got the damage to bring him down, and they make it a 1-for-1, but Wisp for Tide, still a good trade for VP.Polar, keeping that Tidehunter down.
Yeah, it's nice to see Havos get active, though. He rotates bottom. He's now up to 2,000 gold. I mentioned mech. I mean, maybe he goes Blink and then back into mech. I'm not sure how much 5-on-5 action we'll see, but... and there is always that X factor of the Shadow Fiend mech. I don't think Dendy's farming well enough to go at this game. Not to mention, he's already going to be a high-priority target, and if you go mech, you just... well, hold that thought. He's getting dove mid.
Dendy's in some trouble. Scandal, if he hits this Crypt Swarm, that's just a free pick on the Shadow Fiend.
He's getting wrecked now.
Dendy, oh my gosh, yeah, now starting to fall pretty far behind. That makes it 6-2, and
they need to park something behind him, like a support. The Tide once he gets Ravaged, perhaps. Funnick trying to farm the Ancients to get his level 6, but yeah, they just can't leave Dendy alone.
Yeah, now we'll see Havos get initiated on Stormbolt to start things off. The Wisp balls dropping him down. Doesn't spend the gold either. Havos getting a little sloppy. Grabs the Blink Dagger afterwards, but somebody's not using their quick buy, LD.
Yeah, I mean, he was probably also debating, do I want to go mech, do I want to go Blink? And by the time he makes up his mind, it's not that big of a deal. It's just 200 lost gold. Could have been a teleport scroll or 2 in his inventory. Either way, not the biggest deal. With this Blink pickup, though, it really affects the game plan for Navi. Had they gone for an early mech, they might have been able to take some team fights. A lot of plus armor. They have a Disruptor who's a good team fighting support who's closing in on level 6, 4.5 for now. The Ogre's not fantastic in that department, but without it, they definitely don't want to be taking fights. They're up against really good burst damage from the Sven, the Centaur initiation from Stampede, and Death Prophet Exorcism. So this basically says that Navi don't want to take big 5-on-5 clashes. They want to farm, they want to play defensive Dota, split push, stack up the woods, use the Ancients. I think if you're VP.Polar, you look to get aggressive and punish it. Ward off the Ancients, maybe Godlike going to do that now. Mid lane, we'll have a dive.
Yeah, they relocate in, looking for Dendy. Stampede's used, but they can't find him. Instead, they go on to Havos. He takes a silence, Stormbolt, all the initiation. He goes down. Ravage from Funnick comes out too late to save his friend, but does find the kill onto the Skywrath Mage. Now the relocate out will keep some alive, but Scandal gets glimpsed back, and they should be able to find a 1-for-2 out of this. It's a 4-on-1.
Oh, he doesn't get it. Oh, that's unfortunate.
Goes to FNG.
Still, that was with the Doom getting blown up. Like, imagine if he had Ravaged a second earlier. I think he had like a half second after he TP'd in where he was somewhat hesitating. Maybe they keep the Doom alive, or he gets off the Doom, they kill another hero, like the Wisp before it relocates back. Could have been a massive win there for Navi. It's still a good fight. And you got to be careful if you're VP.Polar. Some heroes, like, if you shut them down early, they can't really recover. Like, for example, Razor, not the best comeback hero, but Shadow Fiend excels in this department, especially with the Midas picked up. Navi can play the gold game. They have Devour, they have the Midas, they have good heroes to farm stacks.
Yeah.
It's going to be on VP.Polar to apply pressure. Find pickoffs with relocate, take towers,
Yeah.
and just don't let Navi get into a farming rhythm.
I think they had the right idea with that attempt at mid, but it was just sort of awkward. I think they were hoping Dendi would press forward into the lane, and they relocated here when Dendi was already way back behind the tower. So just out of the gate, it seemed like an odd thing to commit to, especially to use the Stampede to find him. And VP.Polar want to do that. They just need to be a little more careful about how they choose to use that relocate.
They probably just honestly need the Centaur blink first. Like, because the thing is, if you relocate, they see it coming. Tether doesn't stun anymore. It gives the supports a second or so to TP, and you're diving on a tower against the Tidehunter.
Yeah.
He's going to TP with Ravage, so you have to instantly kill a hero, or have BKBs so you just don't care, or maybe a Yule Scepter to dodge the Ravage. But yeah, I think if you wait for your Centaur blink and then go for that play, it's much more likely to be effective. Top lane.
Yeah, smoke
Why don't we
rotation coming out from Navi. They're looking for DK Phobos, and they'll find him. Phobos starts it off with a Doom, but where's the follow-up? The Centaur's pretty fast. He gets glimpsed back, but on the wrong side of the kinetic field. He'll live. Scandal TP's in, and he could actually be one to go down.
Here comes
No.
Sven.
Yeah.
I'ma pump you up, Illidan says. Stun on 2. Sven scored a fall. 2 down. Make it 3. They lost their Shadow Fiend, and Illidan just surges in. There's a Ravage in 20. I don't know if Funnick lives 20 seconds. Anchor Smash will help a lot, but they have to stomp. A double edge. Funnick to drop. That's 4. It might be 5. Maybe they have Mercy now.
Yeah,
No
he was into
Mystic
the
Flare
tree
yet.
line. They can't find him. Phobos, hey, doubles back thinking about it, but wow, talk about a turnaround.
They should have
VP.Polar.
as soon as they doomed him and realized that they didn't trap him in kinetic field, and they
Dire's
saw
top
3
tower
TPs.
is
They need
under
or
attack.
2 TPs to relocate. They need to back the hell off. But
Yeah.
Navi got caught. If they had Ravage, that's different. But they didn't have Ravage. They haven't gone for a mech. That was just way too greedy. And well, credit to VP.Polar. It's their turn to punish.
It was a credit to VP.Polar, but just a series of misplays from Navi that really allowed that to happen. Like you
Dire's
mentioned, the
top
overcommitment,
tower is
the
under
Doom
attack.
prematurely, okay, maybe should have waited for his teammates to be a little closer so you can ensure the follow-up, but the missed glimpse on the wrong side of the kinetic field, that's when you cut the cord and say, well, boys, we better save these cooldowns for another day because this is not going to end in our favor.
Yeah, they should have just backed at that point.
But now Virtus.Pro.Polar, they've got a 6,000 gold and experience lead off that. The DP and the Sven both topping the net worth charts. Sven in particular, he went Mask of Madness first item after power treads, and pretty risky, but in a game like this where Illidan's been able to just farm and come in at the key times in these fights, worked out like a charm in that fight. I mean, he was swinging that axe and doing a hell of a lot of damage.
yeah, as I've been flamed, it is a sword apparently.
Yeah,
but-
okay, it is a sword, you're right. Let's the it is a
People,
rare
people always
sword.
get mad at me. I'm like, dude, you really care about your Dota items, don't you?
It's a large two-handed weapon. that's the key
A
there.
metal object of
Dire's
some
middle
kind that you
tower
swing
is under
that
attack.
chops things.
Sven doesn't care what
He
he's
got a
swinging,
2-hero
he's still
Stormbolt
cleaving.
that fight. That was
Yeah.
pretty big as well.
Yeah, pretty clutch indeed. But now Illidan's just going to go for the BKB, and he'll have it at a pretty solid timing there. Funnick with 1,600 gold, close to the blink, but this is that window where you want Tide to already have his blink dagger secured, moving around, setting up plays. And speak of the devil, Big Brad here grabs his right at the 13.5-minute mark. Big Brad Warden, dude.
Nice. Nice. Okay, so yeah, they need the Tide blink very badly, as you pointed out. Or maybe he just goes mech and they just count on Havos to initiate. But again, I
Radiant's top
just
tower
really
is
don't
under
think you can
attack.
count on Doom initiations this game, unless you just flat out have vastly superior vision because of the relocate. You go in on one, and then they just relocate that hero out. But it's going to be stacked Dota. Your DreamHack 2012 Winter Dota.
Dire's
Yeah,
middle
good old
tower
Farm
is
Wars,
under
man.
attack.
The good old
I don't
days.
miss them, but they
Yeah.
seem to be coming back.
Maybe a little bit.
Yeah, teams are just using Ancients very well, and until either heroes that farm them well or fall out of popularity, or teams are just able to shut the Ancient stacking down more, it's going to continue to happen. So
Yeah.
both teams. I think if this is a battle of economy, though, again, you're happy if you're Navi because you're not particularly strong
Radiant's
right now.
bottom
Still no blink
tower
on
is
Tide,
under
still no
attack.
mech. You just picked up a Midas recently or Shadow Fiend. You're not really ready to fight.
Yeah.
And not being forced to is it gives them time to pick up their next round of items that will put them in an online status.
Yeah.
They also have a good Roche sneak lineup, and that's both lineups are capable of killing Roche. It's just that Navi or Dire.
Radiant's
There's currently a
bottom
Radiant
tower
Ward in
is
the
under
neighborhood. But they
attack.
got to be careful not to let this Bloodlusted Shadow Fiend sneak in. Top lane relocate.
Oh, yeah, there it is, right on top of the Ogre. Yeah, that's exactly what I was looking at, but I panicked there for a second. An Ogre died in a matter of seconds. A flash kill on old
Dire's
McGee.
top
I was just about to
tower is
comment
under
that the
attack.
two Dire supports are just so underleveled. Both of them level 6 right now. Very little farm to their names. FNG was able to grab a point booster to make some progress towards his
Dire's
Ags, but
top
since then has
tower
found
is under
absolutely
attack.
nothing. And meanwhile, you've got this level 9 Wisp on the side of Virtus.Polar, who's just rolling in the experience, has a Soul Ring, and
They might have
might go into Power Treads.
No vision.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Disruptor pick really hasn't gotten much done yet for Navi. The glimpses haven't been quite right. He frankly just hasn't had openings. He is going to build towards the Ags rush, which means I really think Navi will be in a good place if this goes 10-15 minutes and it stays at a 5,000 gold lead. At that point, you've got a Disruptor Ag. Sven generally relies on BKB to survive. The Wisp relocates can easily be punished as well by the Static Storm. Like, timing's difficult. You've got to be way out and tether in, but not get caught inside of the Static Storm when that
mid lane, Havos gets initiated on, and oh boy, do they have enough damage to bring down the Doom. He might be tanky with all that armor from the plate mail, but that won't save you from the Mystic Flare.
Yeah. Good pickoff from VP.Polar, that good old Centaur. It's kind of like the new Centaur Invoker that we were seeing at StarLoader Season 9 with DK, Lucian, Ice combining. This one, the nice thing though is you can one of the heroes is a support that dominates the laning stage.
Yeah.
This is smart by VP.Polar. They walk right into the rush pit.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Nobody's home from Navi. Just lost their tier 1 mid. They have Ravage. They're not. Oh, Mask of Madness so deady. Okay, well, they're not taking team fights right now. That's for damn sure.
Yeah. Well, they will get a tier 1 tower out of this, but a tier 1 in the offlane in exchange for Roche. I think VP.Polar will be pretty happy with that. Ends up uncontested. Aegis goes the way of Illidan, and here's the relocate in, and there we go. Ravage connects on a few. They'll find the kill on Lil right away, but Illidan uses the BKB, starts swinging that sword. They get the kill on Ogre, now going hard onto FNG. Should be able to find the kill with one more auto attack, takes him down, but Dendi going in hard onto Illidan. The gush from Funnick will help squish him up. DK Phobos, there's the stun, and Dendi falls. It'll cost him the Aegis as the Requiem of Souls comes out. Now Havos with the Doom ready, will wait out Illidan, drops the ultimate. Where's the support from Polar? Nowhere to be found. Illidan will just head for the hills. There's still a tower standing here. Maybe they can get the deny as Scandal and Go Black come back in. Illidan staying alive, does not get denied, ends up going down to the Doom. That'll be a huge chunk of gold going the way of Havos, and he will end up getting cleaned up. Yules to stop him dead in his tracks, and there's a Crypt Swarm to bring him down. So, pretty chaotic team fight, but it is Virtus.Polar that come out ahead getting Roche and not even losing their tier 1 tower.
They did lose Aegis. That was a full 5-man wipe against Navi. But it only cost VP.Polar 2 heroes. Actually, sorry, 3 heroes and an Aegis. Yeah. It's still a win for them. In good news for Navi, they didn't actually give up objectives, though. The rush was already gone. They got rid of the Aegis. And they do have the kind of lineup that can lose a fight and still come back and farm, but that's only a VP.Polar allow them to sit back and farm. Great Static Storm by, that's FNG, right? Yeah,
yes,
FNG, yeah. He that day was ready, instantly murdered the Wisp. It's kind of like having an Enigma where you see the relocate, you just strut up to where he's going to be, drop the Static Storm or the Black Hole, depending on what hero you're playing, and if that wasn't used properly, then they probably get wiped there and the Sven ends up living.
It was also a great Ravage from Funnick, using it as soon as the relocate hit. Would have smashed on the Sven if he hadn't preempted that BKB, so it was an equally good play from Illidan to waste maybe a second of the BKB to ensure he doesn't get hit by the
kind of like that game at StarLadder with Tinker versus Secret. Oh, Glimpse mid lane.
Yeah, Go Black finding himself in some trouble, takes a Fire Blast from the Ogre to set it up. The ding-dings come out, and that's a kill for Havos.
But yeah, like the game in Secret Tinker, you remember when Sing Sing had a BKB, they relocated top into Disruptor Ags. Big Daddy dropped his ult, and he didn't use BKB preemptively, couldn't BKB for Disruptor at Egg. Yeah. That type of thing can cost you a game, but the VP.Polar come out on top.
Initiation on to Phobos here. He gets doomed on the high ground. Funnick follows up with a gush, and they should have a lot of damage to bring him down, but no, the relocate is there. Sven cleaving down the Doom. They keep their Centaur alive and get a 1-0 out of it. Good relocate, and there's that taxi service taking the Sven right back to farm territory.
Well, Dendi continues his keep away Dota. Now goes for a blink.
Yeah.
It is really nice against relocate. You see the relocate, you just blink the farthest possible direction away from the Sven Wisp, and they maybe stampede and try to run you down, but that's not going to help them if like you're in the tree line. You know, Sven doesn't have a blink dagger, so you can't really rely on Tether to break trees and find him. It to me signals that Navi want to extend this game even later. Like even though blink is an item that can be used to fight now. That's not the way Navi are itemizing. They want to take this quite late, get up their core items on the Doom of Havos, farm Dendi. At some point, we'll see him transition to more of your hard carry. It's 6-slot Shadow Fiend, and honestly, Shadow Fiend matches up reasonably well against Fen if he doesn't get caught. We saw that in the last fight.
Down bottom, FNG, he gets scouted out by Illidan, ends up being an easy kill for the Sven, showing off how much burst damage he can do with that Mask of Madness. That was even without a God Strength, just straight chopping him down with that Crystallis. Now 2 BKBs out for Virtus.Pro.Polar as the Death Prophet has completed hers. So this mid-game window is going to be difficult for Navi, where Ravage is rendered a lot less effective. We'll hold that thought as mid lane. Ravage on 2. Go Black and DK Phobos in some trouble. Stampede still goes off. They find the kill on the Skywrath.
What a
Phobos connects with a beautiful stomp indeed. And that'll end it as a 1-0 here in this mid lane. And Ravage only finding a kill on that Skywrath mage.
If you're VP.Polar, you know Ravage is down. Roche wouldn't be up for a long time. I think you may try to go for something, but that's where the build of Dendy will prove pretty useful. He can just split push extremely quickly, be elusive in the woods, and they have Exorcism. Stampede is cooling down. Yeah, I think if you're VP.Polar, you really want to try and take a tier 1 top or maybe a tier 2 in one of the other lanes. I don't know if they'll be able to do it, though.
I think they could at least pressure this tier 1 in the top lane, especially with this fresh BKB still on the DP. They've got some options. Now the Centaur going into a Sange, probably a Halberd coming out, should be a good choice here, especially with the delayed BKB of Dendy. He does now have a Mithril Hammer on the way, so I reckon that'll be the magic community, but still a lot of utility for the Centaur.
Who knows? Maybe he goes Pure Glass Cannon, get that Mask of Madness Desolator.
It's
more
possible.
Maelstrom. I mean, the split push. I don't. Maelstrom is not really needed on Shadow Fiend because you already have the raises to clear waves. So
I also would
expect a BKB. Yeah. I don't think you want to go for Desolator here.
I wouldn't have predicted the Mask of Madness blink, though, to be fair. So maybe he's going to go this crazy split pushing build.
Yeah, with Denny, I often expect Blink Dagger. I think he's probably the Shadow Fiend player that uses it the best, oftentimes. But what's interesting is that Denny went for this Midas, which, to be honest, he's not really known for. He's known more for his early combat builds. Like, he'll go fairly squishy and aggressive with a Blink, and then he'll go back for, like, a Tread, sometimes an Ethereal Blade. Mask of Madness, I think I've seen once from him in recent memory. But, yeah, the Midas is an interesting twist, and
yeah,
he's managed to catch up here, Andrew. He started this game off racking up deaths, and now he's your leader in CS. He's up against a Wisp and a 9-2 and 5 Sven, and he's still only 600 gold down in net worth. And they've got a Doom that's closing in.
Yeah.
I think if this goes late enough, like you imagine a late game where Navi has their Doom Shivas, maybe gets an Ags Refresher later on, the Tide Refresher at some point. He's already potentially working towards it with this early Robe of the Magi to build the Oblivion Staff, I should say. I don't think VP want to live in that world. They want to live in the world where Navi are sitting on a Mask of Madness, Blink Dagger, Midas, Shadow Fiend, and try and fight now. But it's tough to do it.
I'm inclined to agree. I think Navi still need a lot of items, but especially if Doom gets a Refresher Ags, that's when things get very scary in terms of locking down these huge initiators on VP.Polar. And
the other thing is their BKBs are healthy now. They won't be if this goes 40, 50 minutes.
Yeah, and even the 2 supports on Navi still have a ways to go. Both of them will benefit a lot from an Aghanims. It'll be a long time before the Ogre has one, but if we're talking about the late game, there is some potential there, and the Ding-Dings on top of that buffed-up Static Storm is pretty difficult, and that's where the Skywrath Mage starts to fall off a little bit compared to those 2 supports in terms of damage output. So, yeah, this is the window where Virtus.Pro.Polar, as you kind of talked about, anytime they know the Ravage is down, if they're not going for Roche, I think they should be looking to take fights, knock down towers, and overall just be aggressive while Sven is still pretty tilted, although I know you don't like the usage of the word there.
Well, tilted normally means you're raging.
I know, it's negative connotation. But while the Sven is notably strong, still #1 on net worth, still has a fresh BKB, and this crit, I mean, he's got
this is like True Lies Arnold, not Governor of California Arnold.
Yeah, yeah.
He's in his prime right now.
He's going to take his team to the chopper, and they're ready to rain down hellfire.
Get to the chopper!
He's close to a full Daedalus, man. I think once that item comes out, that's when you get aggressive and just let this Sven cleave down the world.
That is a hideous face.
You mean
why is this
the unicorn head?
What the hell, man? Why is that in the game? Ugh.
Oh man. Well, I wonder what we're paused here for. What's going on? Sec lag. Okay, well. All right. Well, go something Dudos Gaming. All right.
I mean, they know what each other means, presumably, so I guess that's all that matters.
Yeah, I've learned better than to ask players to translate. They just give me troll answers.
Shout out to Ice Ice Ice.
Oh, man. So, all right, what do we have here? Yule's soon to be out for the Skywrath Mage, just a Void Stone away. So it is another decent pickup for Virtus.Pro.Polar. And Centaur, yeah, not much gold since he's picked up his Sanj. But, for Mr. Havos, could he get initiated on
He's
here?
got
Lil?
Doom.
Oh,
there was
Wisp is
backup
invisible.
coming.
He's got an Invis rune on. Okay, he's
yeah.
you can't see it,
They
but he's got
they
it.
gotta change that visual animation, dude. That is not distinguishable enough.
Yeah. Oh, Stampede, and they won't find anyone. Okay. Well,
Everybody run around in circles.
no noble effort there, Phobos.
I mean,
but
there's no Ravage, so like, yeah, they wasted Stampede, but I think they still take this tier 1 top. And if you're Navi, you definitely don't try to fight.
yeah, I think they caught a little bit of
Dyer's top
vision
tower
with
is under attack.
with this guy here, and whoever it was, I said was Havos, so I was able to blink out.
Dyer's
So
top
no
tower
problemo.
has
Dendi
fallen.
will grab that BKB as we talked about now, just waiting on his recipe.
Radiant's
So-
bottom
VP.Polar
tower
can
is
still
under
ruin
attack.
him though. If he's
Yes.
not, if they catch him from surprise with an instant Stormbolt or Centaur Stomp, he's just dead. And even if he gets off his BKB, they might be able to kill him anyway with the Death Drop ult. They're going in bottom.
Yeah,
Dyer's
Phobos
top
goes in,
tower
misses
is
the hoof
under
stomp.
attack.
Now the relocate comes through, but this is a little bit awkward for VP.Polar already. They know the Wisp will relocate back, and
Okay, so what do you do now? Because like if you leave them, if you bring them both back, then you've just left your Centaur alone. They just
Yeah,
leave.
they're gonna
They
leave
send the Wisp
Illidan.
out, so now there's no Wisp bottom, and you go in if you're Navi. Nicely done onto Illidan, but 2-hero Stormbolt, maybe not so nice.
Oh, Phobos
so
comes in
nice
to
at all.
follow it up. They lose the Shadow Fiend straight away. Now Phobos taking a lot of damage. The Doom comes out onto Illidan. They will get the kill on the Centaur. Now Wisp rejoining the party. There's the Ravage coming out from Funnick. Will find the kill onto Illidan as well as the Wisp. It looks like ends up being a good cleanup for Navi as they have the numbers advantage, but did not come for free. And if only the DP could have gotten there, could have TP'd in, that would have been a totally different fight, but no TP scroll on Scandal.
Radiant's bottom
Even though
tower has
VP.Polar
fallen.
almost made that work, that was still really heads-up play from Navi.
Yeah.
Because you see the Wisp relocate in, right? You already know the Centaur's there. He's already TP'd in, so he can either run away or just stick around at the tower. Wisp is going back, so you're either fighting Sven and Centaur, or it's just the Centaur. If it's just the Centaur, you just take the tower for free. He probably blinks away. If it's the Sven and the Centaur, you go for kills, and the Wisp won't be there. So you're fighting without the Sven's very crucial bodyguard, basically.
Yeah.
If VP.Polar had some teleports, though, because they got such a good Stormbolt and Centaur stun follow-up, I think VP.Polar might have won that anyway, but the idea from Navi was really solid. And
Yeah.
back of that, they even this game out quite a bit.
I think Scandal was not expecting Navi to commit to that as much as they did, because if I'm not mistaken, he was farming neutrals during that. If he had just ran straight to the bottom lane right away, I think he would have made it towards the tail end and maybe could have done some damage with the ultimate. It would have been close, but either way, yeah, that was kind of awkward. What? Still good setup, and on the point you were making, showing how much damage you can do to the Shadow Fiend if you catch him with a stun. That was just the Sven and the Centaur. Now has his BKB coming out off the success of that team fight, so it will be a little more difficult in future engagements, but still a possibility if they get the jump on him. Glancing at the graph, about 4,000 gold and experience, still in favor of Virtus.Pro.Polar, but Navi regaining some of that momentum is now tied as just a recipe away from his refresher.
This hero, man.
Yeah. Scary.
Like, his net worth is going to be, what, like 9k? And he may bring more to the fights than any other hero combined. Like, he might bring more to the fight than the Wisp and the Sven, and they're relocating now.
Yeah, they go down
Down
bottom,
the
and
river.
again, they're sort of thinking that this Doom is committed to something, but Havos, as soon as he sees it, just blinks up to the high ground, and...
It's the relocate is not the biggest deal, just because Navi can't... It's
Yeah.
not like they're like, oh, now we can jump 3 heroes elsewhere on the map. Everyone from VP.Polar is out of the way, so... It's more just, if they don't get these kills soon and he farms that refresher,
yeah.
they don't have a great solution to a Tide refresher. The only thing they have on Tide is the Sven BKB dataless. If he can just jump on the Tide, stun him, they've maybe... I don't even think you want to send anyone else in. Just maybe Death Prophet with her own BKB. And Stampede, just let the Sven pray for the crit. You crit him, you kill him before he can Ravage, then
Yeah.
you've won the fight. If you don't get the crit to kill him before the BKB wears off, I think you lose the fight from there, honestly.
Yeah, I'm kind of inclined to agree. It's
Live
not
by the crit, die by the crit.
It's not that relocate is the biggest of cooldowns. It just seems to be more of a recurring theme for Virtus.Pro.Polar, where Lil keeps relocating into a spot where Navi is not committed and can easily blink out once it's been spotted, or just a bit too far behind, and it ends up just being kind of a wasted effort. So time that the Sven isn't farming, and I'm not sure how often Lil has played Wisp, but does not seem to be the most experienced hand in terms of relocating and securing kills with it. We will have yet another pause here. I guess we got unlucky with this server, LD.
Yes, we did.
Oh, the RNGs. Death Prophet, how's her farm looking? Now has a plate mail, probably looking for a Shivas of her own. So, yeah, she's still farming pretty well, but I guess the DP is only so scary.
It's just that if she gets caught by the Ravages, she's just gonna die.
Yeah.
Like that's the main issue. If she gets off her BKB or Yules in time,
Still a 10-second BKB. She hasn't even used it yet.
yeah, but they have so much chain stun. If they Ravage once, then they Fire Blast, then they Ravage again. They maybe Static Storm her for. And actually, this Disruptor might have eggs soon. How much does he? No, just.
No, he's far away. Both the Navi supports are still just so poor.
He's got one component and 900 gold, so he's only like 1150 off.
Yeah.
I think that means DDoS gaming. But they're all
Oh,
connected.
does he have a component on the courier? Oh, yeah, he
yeah,
does.
yeah.
Okay.
So he's only
Okay, he's a lot closer than I thought then.
yeah, they could be. Again, it's all about the Ravage. If the Ravages hit nothing, then you've got a Shadow Fiend with a Mass Commandus BKB against a Sven with a Daedalus and a Wisp. Like, you're not winning that fight. But if it goes the other way, and they get the Ravages off, then it's VP who can't fight. So, yeah, all eyes on Funnick, who, I mean, to me, is probably the most stable player on Navi. If you want to count on one, I would rather count on Funnick than any of the other four. Maybe not always the most explosive player, but the most solid, I would say.
Yeah, you're right. Dudos means DDoS. That's a good call. He has connect, but lag is hell periodically. So I couldn't have said it any better myself. Man, we got to teach these teams how to secure their Skypes. LD, gotta get that proxy going. DDoS gaming.
Yes.
Ugh. Secure your Skypes, ladies and gentlemen.
Franker Z, puppy paws.
Well, turning into an interesting game, though. Pauses aside, VP.Polar with a pretty early lead early on, but, well, that's redundant, but a solid lead early on. Still holding it, but it is dwindling as Navi continue to find more farm, and I still think VP.Polar would be well advised to get a little more aggressive. 25 minutes in, they still have an advantage, and maybe a little bit stronger than Navi, but we've talked about all these scary items coming out for the Dire, and I think the tides will turn over the next 10 minutes or so if Virtus.Pro aren't careful, especially if Navi take another good team fight. Doom seems to be moving towards a BKB with his next item. We've talked about the Ags on Disruptor, and even the Shadow Fiend, only 600 gold on him right now, but Dendy level 16 will be able to continue farming and be a scary force. So, more immediate issues. Dealing with the connections. Nothing but long games today, it seems like, LD. It's been back to back to back.
You recovered from Kiev yet, buddy?
I feel pretty recovered. I need to get back on the sun cycle here. Let the sun wake me up in the morning so I don't sleep all day.
See, for me it's the opposite. I need to get back on like the night owl cycle.
Oh, you're going to SEA.
Dota.
Yeah, I'm on.
Well, see, I was supposed to. We've been too lenient with our scheduling for the summit, and the problem is the teams are just like, they just think that they can, and 30 minutes before match, they can just reschedule.
They're walking all over us, man.
And now we're double booking matches in SEA, so I think next season we're gonna take a long card look and probably be a lot more strict.
You got to put your foot down, LT.
You know, it all started with Dream League. We were just like, you know what, Dream League's a big tournament. It's important for these teams to be able to play it. You know, we want to be accommodating. We did tell them that when we invited everybody. But now we've been too accommodating. It's time for extreme measures for Season 3.
You have to change your Twitter handle to LD Boss or something to instill fear in all of the subordinates there online. Make sure they know that you're the boss. What LD says goes. Well. Oh, boy. How's America been looking? We're pretty close to playoff time,
we've been on break from America, right? That's the last region to finish.
Oh, okay.
We had like a lot of America games, and now we're on holiday.
Oh, okay.
I haven't watched America at all. Just looking at the standings here, though. Moon Meander and friends are looking good.
Yeah.
They're actually boot camping in LA. Well.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw Beef made a post about it. I guess it was like 3 weeks ago or so. They're in one of the complexity houses, or the complexity house rather. Yeah, complexity. It could be interesting to see Not Today qualify for the summit, and there's a very real possibility. They're 4-0 undefeated. Smash Sama. Finally see Smash at a LAN. I think that would make. I know that would make a lot of South Americans quite happy and excited to watch the summit.
Yeah, they would bring some spice.
Yeah.
I think we'd see a little bit less trash talk though. It's, you know, especially if like say like Secret or Fnatic somehow qualified. You have like Honey or Puppy here.
Yeah.
Fly, like these. I don't think Moomyander's going to be acting all Mr. Tough Guy in front of them.
That's what I'm not sure. Like that's.
I've never met him. I know he talks a lot. He used to talk a lot more.
He tends to be a little more reserved in real life, but I wonder if the Summit is the kind of thing where he would love the couch and troll like crazy, or if it's the kind of thing where he'd be a lot more reserved in person. I could see it either way, and well, we'll hold that thought, I guess. Is here we go. Back in the game. Looks like the Dudos has been resolved for now. VP.Polar move right back into the Roche pit. Use that God's Strength, and no exorcism committed.
They have Ravage ready. Are they going to go right in? 1 second. He's just got it now.
And goes in. Sven has already picked up the Aegis. They'll bring down the Wisp straight away, but now Illidan going pretty hard. Mystic Flare comes out. They'll bring down Dendi, and up on the high ground, DK Phobos going in on FNG, finds the kill there, and it is Navi that are getting cleaned up. Phobos gets left behind. The exorcism completely scrapes him up.
Did you see that, Sven? Ooh. Oh my god. He was sitting on like a 10th of his health, solos the Shadow Fiend. The magic damage from the Requiem does absolutely nothing. The damage reduction from the ult doesn't matter. He lives through it all.
He still has the Aegis.
How the hell did that happen?
Sven
that
Beast.
was with the Wisp dying, mind you. The Wisp died instantly. Like,
yeah.
Still a 4-for-1. VP.Polar got Navi where they want them, and they need this win just to keep the dream alive. They are not in a great position in the standings, but should they win out, VP.Polar might just have a shot.
Yeah, hot off that pause, grabbing Roche, and just a little bit too late from Navi. If they could have initiated that maybe 2 seconds earlier, they could have possibly sniped the last hit, maybe grabbed the Aegis, and that could have been a totally different fight, but instead ends up being a disaster. VP.Polar will grab a Tier 2 tower out of it, it would seem. Still a glyph available for the Dire side, but it looks like Navi will not come to its defense. And VP.Polar will just back up off that, happy with all this new gold.
I almost feel like Lil should just start outside of the fight, relocate in after Ravage is used, and then fight for, like, you know, the 10 seconds. Because Lil, to be fair, is just not going to live very often. And that Fnatic doesn't even have double Ravage yet, but it's on the way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is a good timing for VP.Polar, but it's not an insurmountable lead for Navi. 10k gold lead, 10k experience lead. They're very strong right now. Relocate comes mid.
Yeah, Dire thought they were going to initiate there in the mid. They dropped the Shadow Fiend. And
well, he didn't even use his Mask of Madness, man. If he uses the Mask of Madness, he dies like a one-shot there from the Sven.
Yeah, I thought they may try to jump on Funnick, but they just put all their eggs in the Dendi Vaskin mid and trying to freebie there on the Shadow Fiend. Even through the BKB, just cleaving him on down. Now Havost in the jungle. They do see him in the tree line here. And,
come on.
Boy. Yeah, there's a Radiant Observer here that Havost just walked into, and this could be bad for old 4.
I'm watching this fight again. Yeah. Illidan just wrecking.
Dude, he went Hamburglar all over that Shadow Fiend.
Hamburglar.
He really did.
Yeah, they never even used Doom in this fight. I don't think... I mean, maybe if they Doom the Sven, but he still has Aegis, right? So he comes back.
Who killed the Tide? Was that...
he got chased off to the south.
Oh, okay.
He had already used Ravage, though.
Yeah,
so.
he ravaged and then just got blown up. But this is the big Papa Sven here. He's 4,000 gold now following that fight. So what do you look at for your next item if you're Sven? I mean, a Blink Dagger, I would say is useful, but with a Wisp, maybe not quite as necessary. You just go raw damage? Do you go like Assault Cuirass style? Or do you just start to beef up and look towards something more like a Heart?
Oh, for the Sven?
Yeah, on the Sven.
It's a lot of magic damage from Navi. I don't really think you need more damage. You already pushed plenty hard with Death Prophet and Sven, so I'd think Heart would be the build here.
Yeah. Heart. Although the
makes
AC
you a lot more durable against all these nukes.
The AC does synergize well with the DP also.
Yeah, I mean, they've got it, like, honestly, let's be real. If VP.Polar gets to the high ground with a Sven with God's Strength, he's hitting for plus 365
that's a good point.
Right now. That's not even counting the tether bonus damage. They'll kill buildings if they kill Navi.
Yeah.
There's no question.
Oh, Havost blinks to the low ground, right into a Stormbolt, gets off the Shivas, but they're going to be cautious about how much they commit to this. Ogre comes in, and a TP from the Raptor. Havost will live, and VP.Polar, well, looking pretty passive. I'm surprised they played that one so passive, but...
Don't get cocky if you're VP.Polar, though. This double Ravage just has a way of winning games.
Yeah.
I do worry a bit for Navi, though, because Dendi continues to rack up deaths. He is now 6 and 7. even if they get the double ravage, they do need some follow-ups to get the kill, and it's the Shadow Fiend who's the primary DPS. You've got your Disruptor Eggs coming fairly soon. He's picked up another component. He still needs the Blade of Alacrity. It's about 800 gold short. It's got to be mostly the Shadow Fiend.
Yeah.
So they need to farm Dendi. They need to get the Phonic Refresher. They need to fight only with the Ravage cooldown.
Dire's bottom tower is under
Basically,
attack.
just play a little bit more together and ideally get a gem if they can afford one. Ogre is close to it. I think Vangscore should buy one, because if they don't deward, this Wisp relocate is just going to keep on ruining them. Like, you look at the Radiant Vision, they've got wards up near the Roshan pit, one in the Dire jungle, one in the lane here top.
Yeah.
And it's just too easy to find those Shadow Fiend pickoffs. You can't even TP out anymore. He's got to be able to blink and run away, but he's against Stampede. He's against Tether move speed on the Sven, who's at max move speed with Warcry, Mask of Madness, and the Tether.
Yeah.
And the Sven just gets 2 right clicks and kills the Shadow Fiend, basically, if there's a crit. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think they need a gem, and they just have to be very selective about their fights and bide their time.
Yeah, not only do VP.Polar have a lot of wards now, but just in great areas where they'll see a lot of traffic, especially this one right here. You can't draw because we're paused, but just a lot of intel into where Navi are farming, what they're doing, and this is kind of quote-unquote the safe area for Navi, where they're farming in the jungle right around here, and VP.Polar are privy to it. They'll have God Strength coming up in just a couple seconds here, and this could mean that we'll see VP.Polar get aggressive. Wheel of Phrases. Vanscore's talking about. I don't know what he's talking about. Oh man.
How can it be fake? It's him talking. Maybe, I think he means it was an accident or something.
Oh. Go. Oh, I see though. The wheel of I get the
Chat
wheel.
wheel.
The chat wheel. Yeah.
I guess the translation is.
Yeah, that's why it's like the wheel of. I was thinking Wheel of Fortune, so I was reading this like Wheel of Phrases. Is this some sort of a joke? I don't know why. They probably don't have Wheel of Fortune in that side of the world, but yeah. Well, this sucks, man. Nobody enjoys pauses.
This is getting to be a bit much.
Yeah. Well, we are the admins here, LD. LD boss about to tell him like it is.
Well, I mean, at some point you just have to play through the lag, or we postpone the game.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean,
we have other matches still to go.
We're getting close to about 10 minutes of cumulative pause time, which
I
is.
think it's more than that. Honestly,
Yeah.
I think it's like 15 minutes.
Oh,
I
maybe
think
it's been
about
that long.
half of the game time has been pause time.
It's been that
like
much? Okay.
13 to 14.
Well, the time just flies by when I'm talking to you, LD, so it seemed like it was only 10.
Sure. Buttering me up, huh? Alright, well, the secret manager seems in good spirits, at least.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, it's only a problem when the teams in the subsequent matches have matches in other tournaments, so then they get delayed here, and then that messes up everyone else's schedule. So.
Think of the viewers, man.
Oh, the poor viewers, yeah.
Dan's game. Dan's game, dude.
Dan's game. Oh, man.
This is actually a good time to talk about win a trip to the summit.
Oh, it sure is.
I don't actually have a screen set up, but I guess I'll let you know if it unpauses. We can show the good people out there. There's one. It's g2a.com/win a trip to the summit too. I think. No, trip to the summit too.
It's just trip to win a trip.
No, trip to.
Oh, okay. Trip to summit 2. To summit 2. Let's see. Can we make a
to the summit too.
Oops. Oh, this is turning out to be a struggle. Okay, here it is. Let's see.
Yeah, if we can bring that up on stream, I guess. Let the good people know.
Okay, I'm a little slow with OBS, guys. You're gonna have to give me a moment. Let's see here. How do I?
Yeah, that's good.
How do I point and click?
There you go.
Oh, okay.
So, guys, this is a promotion we're doing with our title sponsor, g2a.com. Basically, the way it works is you just have to like their Facebook page, like our page, and then tell us why you think you should be chosen. We'll review the results or the submissions, and the best entry wins. We cover your plane ticket, we pay for your hotel, and we will be hosting a viewing party nearby, but you will be the only person who's not a part of the event who actually gets to come here live, meet the players, hang out at the house during the broadcasts, talk to Dendi or whoever ends up qualifying from Europe in their free time, Big Daddy, who knows. For now, only EG guaranteed to be here. pick our casters' brains, and just hang out. We'll have plenty of free food. So basically, I think it's a pretty awesome vacation for any Dota fan. And
Yes.
the only stickler is, of course, if you're not from the U.S., you have to have a passport and be able to get a visa. Or if you don't, then we'll find someone else who can attend. So
Yeah. And it is just for one person, correct?
it's one lucky winner.
One person. So it's not you and a friend. It's not you and dad. It is singleton. So keep that in mind. I got some tweets already asking if it's, a +1 type deal, and you are the +1, dude.
If somebody wins and they're able to foot the bill for that other person to come, then we can discuss it. But
Yeah.
for now, it's officially only one.
Yeah. In context of the competition.
So yeah, the URL you might want to unfull screen it.
Oh yeah, here let's see. Old F11
Is g2a.com/trip to the summit 2, which we'll
drop a
post it
link
in
in
the
chat when it's ready to rock and roll. But yeah, win a trip of your life. Usually that's just marketing hype, but this really is a lifetime trip because this isn't open to the public. The summit, and we don't have plans in the future to make the summit open to the public type event. So it is a pretty rare opportunity to be able to come, and even just a rare opportunity to see the players in that kind of an environment. You go to an MLG or a Star Ladder or a DreamHack, and sure, you get to see the players, maybe you get to meet them, but this is just a totally different experience where you're the lone audience member, so you will get to play with some of the maybe if you're lucky, get a pub game in, maybe play some Hearthstone. Players do love to fiend their Hearthstone in between matches.
Last time Lysander was here, he played a lot of Hearthstone with Dendy.
Maybe get a Dendy selfie if you're lucky.
Well, if they qualify.
If they qualify, yeah, that's.
I mean, no matter what, we'll have some really cool teams here. That's for sure.
You can meet Arteezy, see what he's like in real life. That one we can promise, as he'll be here for sure.
Meet Vlad. Well, no, Charlie's been saying they're going to withdraw, dude. So apparently, EG's too good for our event. They'd rather play Dream League, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, I'm logged in as Double Beyond the Summit. So let's see here. Illidan says, I call provider, trying to block this shit. He's going to do some stuff. Okay. Well.
At some point we can...
Yeah, we can't stay paused forever.
If that's the case.
Our next match, when is it scheduled to start? Do we have our schedule open? Let's see. I'm still getting my bearings about me here. Alright, so our next match, Secret versus KPG, is supposed to start 10 minutes ago, so we're already 10 minutes behind schedule. So yeah, we do definitely need to get this one going.
Yeah, the teams can only be so patient.
Yeah, and wow, tomorrow is the last day of the Summit EU group stages, and we've got 6 good ones coming up tomorrow to round out the group stage before the playoffs get going. Wow. Feels like this just started.
Apparently, Simba's girlfriend met him through a sweepstakes. She's telling me now on Skype.
Really? What kind of a sweepstakes? Like
a Han sweepstakes. She won an all expenses paid
something or other.
DreamHack winner 2012 and
wow.
Yeah.
Dreams really can come true on the internet.
Yes, maybe you win this. You win over Arteezy or something.
Wow.
If you're an eligible bachelor or bachelorette.
A whole lot of luck, a little bit of magic, and you can meet your future husband at the TI2. You never know.
Defrost fears.
I said TI2
cold,
at the Summit
icy
2.
Heart.
Yeah. Wow. What a heartwarming story that is.
Yeah. All right, what's going on here? Come on, guys. Right.
Big Daddy LD, he's getting frustrated with the pause. It also sucks when you have the long pause during a game because it kills the momentum. You sort of mentally feel like you're casting 2 different games.
This chat is... I think we need to move to subs only mode permanently for the stream soon, dude. It's just...
It's too much.
It's deteriorating. Like, this, it's not even funny anymore. It's just sad.
We need to get Charlie in here. We need to hire Charlie
the last
as a
thing
moderator.
we need to not get Charlie in here, dude. Fuck Charlie.
Poor Charlie. That was... I think one of my highlights of Star Ladder was the thread that got opened that said, "Why does the Star Ladder panel hate Charlie so much?"
Why is LD flaming Charlie?
Boo! Boo! I think Charlie was the only one that we actually booed on the panel, so he did get that special award. No one else was officially booed.
Courtesy of yours truly, leading the the anti-Charlie brigade.
The anti-Charlie charge.
Come on.
Resume from replay. Sayori plays Sven. Oh god, that's a handicap. I don't know if we want that, gang.
4 minutes more. Okay.
Jesus.
Why does it blot out admin?
Maybe there's something special with that keyboard.
No. I mean, it says ADMIN. Like,
That is weird.
is that a curse word now?
I don't want anybody pretending to be an administrator that isn't. It is pretty crazy having a full house here at BTS again. It's a nice change of pace. We went from like full packed to the brim, then everybody left for TI, and it's been sort of varying in capacity, and now we're filled to the brim. Nothing but 24/7 Dota. Although poor Parker living the Roland life.
He's just like, can this game end? Sad part for him is there's like 2 more games after this.
Yeah. It's hard. It's like you always want to have enough space so that you don't have somebody living in the upstairs, but you know, it's efficiency, you know. You got to keep the rooms full.
Yeah, we just need to install a little addition in the backyard.
Get one of those.
We don't have the biggest backyard, so
yeah,
we can just strut up on our neighbors, you know.
Yeah, I'm sure they would really appreciate
We
that.
might as well just eliminate the space in between the buildings. Just extend the house lengthwise.
What we really need to do is get Merlini in one of the smaller rooms, then have a bunk bed in the master bedroom, you know, just double bunk it. Sayori will marry me whether he likes it or not. You can't stop me, LT. Don't even try to stop that guy. Jesus. A little aggressive. Follow beyond the summit. Win a trip of your life. We'll say also if you win, the spread at the summit is pretty damn good. There will be a lot of food.
Yeah,
maximum cuisine. At least 2 choices for every meal. We try to have an Eastern option, a Western option, and something mildly healthy. By mildly, usually that's just some vegetables or
a vegetable.
Some unsauced chicken.
Unsauced.
You know, was it
plain?
Was it plain? I guess that was what the Fnatic guys requested, right? They wanted just like some steamed broccoli and some chicken breast. You know, go healthy boys, hit the gym.
Well, they wanted to take over the kitchen and just start like cooking. And if you let one group cook, then you gotta let everyone cook and prepare their own meals, and then the whole thing goes to shit. Yeah,
once one player found our pots and pans, well, can't I just make some? No, you can. We're not starting that right now. We're not going to just go free for all. No one is using the stove. We're making that a rule. It's just sorry, boys, but
yes, you also will not be allowed to use the stove if you win.
Indeed. But last time we had all sorts of stuff. We had like Chick-fil-A, we had In-N-Out one day, we had Chipotle one day. That Thai food, I forget the name of the restaurant, but that Thai place, man, it's good and it's cheap. That place is amazing. Man, even I'm looking forward to the food at the summit. Had a little barbecue beforehand. Get David Parker on grill duties.
Grilling on the barbie.
Yeah. So really, it's the David Parker cam. Not even the grill cam. Just. All right, we've got about 1 more minute here, folks, and then we're gonna make them weather the storm.
Yeah, if this doesn't work, we will figure something else out. We're not gonna wait any longer. No, it wouldn't be a death win, guys. We'll probably just reload from a save game later.
Yeah, I think reload. This is one of those interesting games where you can't really.
It's not over. Navi can still win. VP.Polar probably have like a 65 to 7. I don't even think it's a huge. I would say like 70% advantage right now.
Yeah, they have a decent golden experience lead, like 13,000, but Navi have this really scary late game lineup, and we've talked a lot about once that refresher comes out onto the Tide, that's a big window where Navi can get a lot of momentum back. So really just one good team fight for the Dire, and they're right back in this game.
Oh, chat's still salty from when I said we were going to turn on subs mode permanently.
Oh, poor little chat. So sad. We need to wait until 2400 Moscow time.
It is 2400
then
Moscow
reboot
time right now,
and it should work. All right, so Go Black or Illidan's rebooting. Wow. That's some serious service. They can call their ISP, get a new IP that quickly. That's
just weird.
That's weird, but that's
how is it
some serious service?
It's just a very specific. Like normally they're just like you're on the phone and they're like, all right, we're gonna go turn off your modem. We're gonna restart it. What is this like? At 2400 hours, you will have a new IP.
New IPs roll over on the. I have no idea.
Russia IP finds you.
Yeah, usually you have to jump through all the hoops. Sir, we're going to need you to reset every PC on your network. We're going to need you to unplug the router, put a little bit of bacon on top of it.
It took them,
plug it back in.
A long time to little bacon.
We're going to need you to try new Ethernet cables. Sir, I can't remember. Have you tried resetting the modem? Okay. Go ahead and power cycle that modem one more time.
You don't shut the hell up. Alright, is he rejoining it?
No. Illidan. Come on, Mr. Storm Rage. We need you.
Somebody please sponsor VP.Polar with some internet.
Get him a modem sponsorship. Now sponsored by Time Warner. Congratulations.
Isn't it like accepting a Time Warner? Well, actually, no, that's not the worst. Accepting a Comcast sponsorship.
It's
now that is basically you sponsoring them by agreeing to represent such a tarnished brand.
Comcast sponsored by VP.Polar.
Funny part is like in a year, Comcast is probably gonna be like, we'd love to do like a huge deal with you guys.
Yeah.
Then someone's gonna dig up this VOD and send it to them. And we'll lose our chance to go big time, man. We could have had that sweet Comcast money.
I wonder who actually is the worst ISP. I feel like everybody feels like theirs.
Dude, it is 100%.
Everybody,
confirmed.
no matter who they, it's like same as cell phones. Whichever provider you have, it's the worst.
Objectively Comcast. There's no debate.
But you and I come from Comcast territory. I had Comcast in Jersey before I moved here, and it was pretty bad.
No,
I've never had Time Warner.
Objectively Comcast. That's not even debatable.
Yeah, you think it's worse than Time Warner?
I think they have like the lowest rating by the Better Business Bureau of like any major company in the country.
Yeah, they've been voted like worst company.
If you ever read the Reddit All forum, like every other day, like I would say 9 times out of 10, if there's an ISP bitch fest, it's Comcast. Yeah, it's always Comcast. And the only time other ISPs get looped in is normally ones that might end up working with Comcast, like Time Warner, trying to merge with them. So,
yeah, I think Comcast was voted. Is it like the worst company or they're like worst customer service, something like that? They've been voted the worst in one category like 5 years in a row or something.
Dude. Give Google fiber.
Yeah, that's what we really need to just move the studio to a place that has fiber. Like Kansas City or one of those other arbitrary places. Get that million up, million down. I don't know what we would do with all that bandwidth.
Oh, do they have a million up?
It's not that much. It's really absurd. I think it's like 1,000 up, 1,000 down or something for like $50 a month. The speed is unreal. It's so fast that like, what will you do with it? We could all stream like HD video, all be streaming in 1080p and downloading videos, and at the same time have like more than 50% of our bandwidth to rock and roll. All right, Velat's asking the hard questions here. Will Secret KPG wait? That is a good question. Go try.
Yeah, so far they seem fine.
Try yes.
Both teams said they'll wait. So.
Okay, here we go. Resume. How long will we stay resumed for? I feel like we need to recap what's going on here.
Status of the game is Tidehunter's desperately trying to farm Refresher Orb. He's pretty close right now, about 900 gold short. Shadow Fiend still doesn't really hit that hard. Denny's going to need like 1, probably 2 damage items. Fen is a Godzilla, and he might kill this bottom Shadow Fiend. Watch out.
He's thinking about it.
Illidan's coming in hot.
Yeah, so getting a feel for the items here. FNG on the Disruptor, close to his Aghanim Scepter, so looking to buff up that Static Storm. About 600 gold away from an item pickup that could
start eyes on Dendy.
Here
we go.
Yeah, there's that ward on the high ground, giving them the vision they need. They'll do the wraparound. No relocate needed. Stormbolt before he can BKB. Out come the crits, and Illidan just chops him down. Shadow Fiend is on the menu today.
Disruptor also died top during that time, but the big kill is the Shadow Fiend. They're going to go in with the blink from Havos top lane, and then nothing. And they relocate behind, but he didn't bring the spend. Illidan BKB'd. I think the tether broke, and he didn't re-tether. Now, Lil probably dies here. No, they just stopped focusing him. He's got an invis rune, so they can't finish him off. And now the chase is on your Death Prophet. Lane into Funnick, stun. Illidan doesn't even get off a final slice. 4 dead for Navi. After all that, well, they lose tier 2. There is no God Strength any longer. Exorcism will end. Navi buyback status. No bueno. They only got the Shadow Fiend buyback. The other 2, no Doom used, no Ravage used, and both dead. And if they buy back this tide, they are never going to complete his refresher.
Yeah, he's still 150 gold short, so might not even have the opportunity. The glyph comes out straight away as Virtus.Polar with all 5 alive go right into the tier 3 tower. They'll go in onto the Ogre. Here's a blink forward from Phobos, and the follow-up damage is there. Arcane Bolt off to the side from Go Black will bring him down as FNG uses the Static Storm Kinetic Field combo. Not enough to stop the push, and we'll lose the tier 3 tower. Now the Rack's exposed. Should go down here. Dendi up in 10 seconds. Or pardon me, Havos up in about 10 seconds. Dendi already respawned, looking for some kind of an opening, but won't find it. And
but Illidan can BKB out of this. Nice silence from Scandal.
Yep.
He did not have BKB. So had they glimpsed him, he might have gone down there. And he does go AC on Illidan. So the better pushing item than the Heart. Well, actually, not, I don't think it's that much better, because Heart gives you a ton of damage with Sven. God Strength does work off of your strength stat, your base stat, so Heart gives you a lot more personal DPS, or similar anyway. But the AC, like as you rightly point out, makes the Death Prophet a lot scarier.
Yeah.
The chance of a comeback is still there for Navi. I'm not going to give up hope yet, but it's growing pretty slim. One more bad fight and they're out of this.
And Dendi up top. He's in some trouble. Illidan looking for the Stormbolt, but can't find it. And Dendi walks away, but a bit of a close call there. Funnick and the Ancients. Yeah, Go Black coming in. He will get the Yules off the 4-step forward. Phobos will stampede, goes right in onto Funnick. A Ravage comes out. Now Havos joining the party, goes on to Phobos with the relocate is there. BKB used by Illidan, finishes off the Tide. Now just goes for the Doom, finds both the kills. Dendi on the high ground, gets off a Requiem. Doom on the Illidan, but the Crit Lord is here. He gets relocated back, and it's a 1 for 3. Illidan now gets stunned up. The Doom will expire, and there's your war cry. Goes in onto Vanscore, connects with the stun. The crits just keep coming.
GG. They lost, dude. They lost.
Oh my gosh. It's a 1 for 5 when it's all said and done. Scandal on a godlike streak.
They have Exorcism.
GG.
Navi lose, and with this, actually, things get really interesting. Because Navi dropped to, I believe it's 7 and 4. Oh, sorry, 7 and 3.
Victory.
You've got VP.Polar, 6 and 4. With one more win would be 7 and 4. Navi could finish 7 and 4. Secret Team could finish 7 and 4. Cloud9, I believe, could also finish 7 and 4. Some of these teams might play each other. So maybe not all of them can, but at least 3 or 4 of them could. We could have multiple teams tied for that 3rd, 4th position.
Yeah, tomorrow will definitely be an interesting day of coverage. But we're going to delay not any longer. We're very behind schedule, so we'll take a break. And the next game coming up will be Secret versus KPG, scheduled to start ASAP.